with these epics, we might have an expectation of, sort of a more hyper masculine, feel to them, because of our own expectations, again, as 21st century readers of what an epic is, right? When we go and we look closer at them, we see that this is not the case, right? I'm Tamara, I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a lecturer in Literature Humanities. Most of our epics actually have strong queer themes that we can really lean into, especially when we're talking about Gilgamesh and the Iliad, which is, again, what we're working on right now, so very recently on my mind. With the Iliad, of course, Achilles and Patroclus, right? There's been text written about them, right? Song of Achilles. There's like so much contemporary interpretation of this, which I think has a true basis on the text. In Gilgamesh especially, I think the relationship between Gilgamesh and Enkidu definitely has queer undertones, or not even so much undertones, but just tones, I would say. Gilgamesh has a series of dreams, and his mother interprets the dreams, and his mother tells him that he's going to love him like a wife, right? So we already have that, is how the relationship is established there at the beginning. And then when Enkidu dies, we have the whole process, right, of Gilgamesh's mourning. We are told once again that he shrouds him like a bride. So I think all of this language is already telling us a lot about the nature of this relationship. We must look at the language, right? What is the language doing? What is the text doing? Not just sort of what we might, as contemporary readers, have an interpretation of, but really what the text is doing. So I think that's definitely present there. By performing these close readings of the text, I think the students are definitely very open to this. And I think they also some of them are familiar with the, again, more contemporary reinterpretations of this. So they come to the text already with an idea of, for example, the Song of Achilles, right? So they're like, oh, what is actually happening in the text, right? So maybe it's not as explicit as they would have expected, but it is still there. So coming from both ends of the spectrum, right? From a student who is familiar with those contemporary reinterpretations and wants to see that in the text very clearly, and students who were not expecting to see it at all and actually start to pick up on those, right? So I think it's actually a great, again, close reading is sort of our greatest tool to really look at these texts and see sort of what they're saying to us. Even though we don't have certain categories, like for example, this happens a lot when we talk about Sappho, right? Sappho being a woman who in her text expresses erotic desire for other women. We might not use the word gay or lesbian, even though of course the word lesbian comes from her being from Lesbos. So, that's already right there. But even if we, at that time, the category did not exist as such, I think being able to pick up on these aspects and see how they are reinterpreted in our contemporary times is still very valuable. I don't think I would say that it has to do with using contemporary concepts or anachronistic concepts to describe our ancient authors, but more so picking up on certain aspects of their text and of their work and see how that would, again, echo in our contemporary times. Must engage in, again, these more contemporary reinterpretations, bringing in traditionally marginalized voices in academia into our classrooms, right? So it doesn't matter if we are doing it from a curricular perspective only, meaning including these texts there, or if we are keeping the texts as they are, but bringing in new perspectives, right? Both things can work as long as we are doing the work in the classroom with the text that we have, right? Because there is no guarantee that because we include certain texts, they're going to be taught in a more productive, inclusive, and diverse way. What I think is the most important thing is that we are doing that work in the classroom with whatever material it is that we have, and also making that effort, right? There's something that I do in my own classes is I bring shorter pieces, usually poems, right, that are engaging in, again, from this perspective, with the text that we're reading. So that's another way to do the work, right? I think the most important thing is that we as instructors do the work and offer the students these perspectives to truly build an inclusive classroom in that way.